welcome back to this episode of Reindeer Productions. Today we'll be covering student debt.
But before we get started, we'd like to thank our sponsor, studentaid.gov, which we will talk a little bit more about later.
With that said, let's get started. I'm Krishi and I plan on majoring in psychology, which has an average student debt of about $82,000.
I'm Asta Sharma and I plan on majoring in biochemistry, which has an average student debt of $136,000. For a combined bachelor's and master's program.
And my name is Pranav Fadapati, and I plan on attending UCLA and to major in biology. This has an average student debt of $42,330.
I'm Isha Park, and I plan on majoring in political economics and international business at NYU, the New York University. The average student debt there for a business student is about $66,300.
I'm Sam, and I haven't decided on a college yet, but I plan on majoring in computer science, which in 2015 had an average student debt of $35,000 after graduation. Back to our sponsor that we talked about earlier, federal student loans. There are a couple types of federal student loans, all of which have fixed interest rates that won't change for the life of a loan. First is Perkins loans. Perkins loans are a need-based student loan typically given out to lower income students with an interest rate of 5%. Undergraduate loans have an interest rate of 2.75%, graduate borrowers have an interest rate of 4.3%, and professional students have an interest rate of 5.3%. That means our more, air quotes, premium customers will also have more interest. That's also a major reason biomedical students and other fields that require a master's or doctorate degree can also have much higher average student loans and student loan interest rates. The formula for calculating payment consists of multiplying your outstanding principal balance by the interest rate factor and multiplying that result by the number of days since you made your last payment, which basically means that in general, student loans can compound very fast if you don't start to pay them off right away.
Moreover, the accumulated amount of student loan debt is an astounding $1.6 trillion. The student loan debt is a significant dilemma that approximately 1/3 of people who are under the age of 30 still have abundant debt. Not only that, but adults within that age group are more probable to take out loans from the past. Surprisingly, students that have already graduated are more financially stable than those who have taken out these loans. This signifies how much of an economic strain student loan places on a multitude of individuals. When college graduates enter the real world with their student debt, they are met with more problems such as low credit scores, which can result them in not being able to purchase their very first house or being financially stable, which will consequently have a long-term effect on the individual.
Again, thanks to studentaid.gov for sponsoring this podcast. With only 5% interest payments, you too can pay off your student loans in only 10 years.
And now it's time to introduce our special guest who can provide us an insight about what it's like to deal with student loans firsthand. So would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Lindsay Bazzoni. I recently graduated from the University of Kansas in December of 2019, and I'm currently living in Chicago and looking for my big girl job.
Okay, so firstly, could you tell us a little bit about what you majored in and what your career aspirations are?
So I majored in strategic communications with a minor in business, and I'm looking for jobs in advertising that have to do with makeup or beauty. So my current job I'm looking for is a social media director or marketing director.
And for you, how did that necessitate taking out student loans? So did your major influence whether you had to rely on student loans or not?
Entering into a competitive field, it was important to go to the best program possible, even if that meant taking out student loans. That was a huge priority to me. I just wanted to ensure that I had the best education for myself and that lining up with what made me happy.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And I'm sure you're not the only student who faced that scenario. So now that you've graduated, how do student loans continue to affect your life?
It's definitely a priority to pay them off, and as a result, you have to compromise on other things you enjoy, like traveling sometimes. The interest rates are also really high, which makes it even harder to pay them off since you're paying much more than you actually took out of the loan.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think that's one of the problems with student loans is that the interest rates are really high, which is why people are paying them off years into the future. So I know that you also run a business making digital paintings, and has that helped you in paying off your student debt?
So my digital artwork, it's actually one of the main reasons why I started was because of my student debt. So I took on a retail job and then I took an unpaid internship. So in reality, making $16 an hour was not going to cut it for my loans. So I thought might as well sell my artwork and make a few extra $500 a month and put that towards my student loans. It's actually helped a lot, and it's really nice because my artwork is very therapeutic to me. So it's not like I'm actually doing a career out of it. It's more of a hobby that's actually paying off.
Yeah, wow, I think that's a really unique way you've combined your hobbies and your necessities. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
And we're back. So we've looked at how exactly student loans are accumulated and what a typical student experiences with student debt. Now we are going to give you some steps we highly recommend you should take if you plan on tackling student debt. Let's start off with federal student aid programs. According to studentaid.gov, many programs are available for you to apply to. Given your eligibility, you would qualify for the Department of Veterans Affairs Education Benefits, Pell Grants, International Study Aid, Boards for Community Service with AmeriCorps, and much more. Make sure to check more specifics at our sponsor's website, studentaid.gov. Remember, the options tend to increase if you're affiliated with a service-related job, medical, military, etc. Although there are a variety of aid options, remember that the process isn't simple. There have been cited rejection rates of 99.3% in the public service loan program specifically, and many report issues on the complexity of certain income-driven repayment programs. This is why we suggest understanding as many options as you can from today's episode and how feasible they might be for you. The variety of federal aid programs can prove to be beneficial. Start your search as soon as possible with your state government and work your way up to national programs.
Additionally, there are numerous scholarships available for students. These scholarships are either need-based or merit-based. Need-based scholarships mainly depend on one's financial standing or circumstances. For example, if you are a low-income family and only have one working family member, you would qualify for a need-based scholarship. However, the amount of the scholarship fluctuates depending on your situation. Many colleges offer need-based scholarships within their school or jobs for students who can't afford their tuition. Typically, these jobs are grading papers, helping professors, and working campus jobs. The United States federal government also provides need-based scholarships through a program called FAFSA, the Free Application for Federal Student Aid. On the other hand, merit-based scholarships focus on a student's past achievements, such as awards from competitions. Similar to need-based scholarships, many colleges offer merit-based scholarships. However, they are harder to obtain as a majority of colleges' scholarship money goes to need-based scholarships. Fortunately, there are other places to look than colleges for scholarships. Many companies and organizations offer scholarships. Typically, students need to submit an application consisting of a personal essay, school transcript, and general information, and a winner is chosen. Another organization is College Board, a nonprofit organization that connects students to colleges. They offer their own scholarship as well as a database to find scholarships outside their organization. These are just a few of the scholarships available to students. The key point is to put yourself out there and do research. Even if you think you're not qualified for a scholarship, it never hurts to try.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, and we hope you learned something new about student loans. See you next time!